So we have two other components which we need to configure or properly install for the rack system, immersion rack system installation. One is the dry cooler system, 120 kilowatt dry cooler system, and there is a pump station. So the component which we recently updated, and we keep updating that. But right now, what is sure, we change the standard non-smart Velo pump to the smart electronically controlled or remotely controlled from your mobile application Velo Stratos Maxo pump system, including the other components like the safety group, expansion vessel, filling valves, and all the fittings nicely connected, so you can just place that around your rack where convenient and connect the 2-inch tubing to the fittings, just making sure that you are configuring that according to the flow. The pump should always push the flow to the cold section. So we are actually pushing the flow through the cold side of the manifold. So the next component would be DC120, so 120 kilowatts capable dry cooler system. As you can see here, it's positioned vertically, but actually we are delivering that with the set of legs, which will work and in both vertical and horizontal positions. So you can actually put that in the tabletop position nicely and make sure that you operate as convenient as possible in your specific location. The dry cooler has 3 industrial fans, and we use either Silabec or EBM PAPST fans. All of them, all fan brands which we use, you require 3-phase connection. So 3-phase power, 400 watts. This is what we actually need for the to power up those, powerful system. The fans are actually sucking the air through the fin pack or coil pack in the back of the dry cooler system, so they are pushing that away. So take that into the account when you are planning your installation. As you can see on the right side of that manifold, there is a electronic compartment, so the adaptive section, adaptive fan controller, and all the motor protection switches. So this is where it's installed. It's properly hidden from the elements, so you'll be fine regardless whether you're operating in Texas with 110 Fahrenheit outside or 40 degrees Celsius, or you can operate that in Middle East, you can operate that in Iceland or Nordics, whatever. That dry cooler is protected, and it will work with you in the different locations. Besides the electronic compartment here, dry cooler system has 2 manifolds. One is supply and one return manifold, and that manifold actually has 2 air vents, and actually in terms of topology, that's the air vent, and that one on the bottom here, that's drain valve or drain vent. Regardless of the naming, both allow you to, depending on the position, they will allow you to remove the water from the system, water or water glycol of the system, or they will allow you to vent the air from the system, which is time consuming at the very beginning, but that's usually one-time procedure. Now you need to configure the system in the way that so we can connect the fittings or the tubing to the rack manifold. As you can see here, we are also using fittings which are 2-inch, and you are free to install that however you would like. We are providing that elbows here, so you can attach them. As mentioned before, you can use different sealants. You can use gasket, silicon gasket, high temperature silicon gasket, which we use red addition, which requires some proper procedure or skill, how to do it properly, how to connect it properly to get it good sealed. You can use the thread, you can use the Teflon, whatever. If you have your own contractor, then just trust him. If you have some hydraulic person, then you can just connect that and make sure, and they will, you know, take care about that one. Now on those fittings, you can just attach the elbows, just to make sure that in that position you want that tubing to go, you know, nicely to the from the top to the bottom to the ground. You can just attach those muffs here if you happen to just, you know, go directly through the wall to the other side of the wall. So, you know, that's your choice. Just make sure that you are attaching that in the way that it's, you know, convenient, and so we give you the tools to do that. Okay. Normally, as I said, we would use the silicone here, but, you know, feel free to do whatever you like. And to that, we would attach the 2-inch hose, which we provide with the system. So that covers basically the connection part. Well, the connection, well, depending on the method, whether that would be, let's say, thread or Teflon tape or the silicone. If that's silicone, it will take some time, so the silicone can cure fully. So, yeah, just one more thing. The sensor system. I will just cover that right now because that's something which has to do with the manifolds. Now you have the sensor here, which is temperature sensor, which is used by the adaptive controller to properly to check the temperature and adjust the fan speed to the temperature of the fluid. So our temperatures set points are as follows. It's 60 degrees going back from the enclosures. If you have long line or, let's say, metal pipe instead of, you know, standard tubing which we provide, it may be a little bit lower because the piping radiates also. But let's assume that you are going from the enclosures with the 65 degrees Celsius, which is 140 Fahrenheit. So that's the inlet temperature to the system, and the return. So the temperature which that dry cooler should provide should return would be up to 40 degrees Celsius, which is 110 Fahrenheit. And that's assuming that outside we have pretty hot summer weather, so 35 degrees Celsius ambient, so let's say 95 Fahrenheit up to 100 Fahrenheit. That would be under those conditions, so under the summer you know, temperatures, or let's say hot season temperatures, it will reject 120 kilowatts to the air. But obviously, if you'll be located in the moderate climate area, or there will be, let's say, autumn or, let's say, winter time, then obviously that will allow you to reject more, and the temperatures will be, you know, significantly lower than this. And also the fan speed will adjust. So there may be a time when the fans will not operate at all, right? Because it will be not required. Just the movement of the fluid through the fin pack, through the coil pack, will be just enough to reject the heat. To provide information for the fan controller, you need to adjust the sensor, and it's a little bit longer because you may want to adjust that in the different location, and you can actually, you know, just also adjust the length of the cable here, and you need to attach the that sensor using that clamp which you provide and the zip tie, and you need to adjust it on the outlet or return manifold. So we take the temperature from which is coming back from the dry cooler for the sensor to analyze if it's cooling enough. So make sure that you're keeping that firmly attached to the outlet or return manifold. Use the zip ties or use the some clamp, steel clamp, which you can just buy locally. Make sure that it's properly attached. You can also use some additional foam if there will be, let's say, colder season. We would suggest using some additional foam, Armaflex, or any other specific material to just isolate additionally that sensor, so it will take the heat directly from the manifold and not from the outside air, because then the readings may be, you know, flawed and will be not let's say, proper. So we don't want that. So this is one thing one item which you need to think about. Just one suggestion: if you'll be using foam, that's ideal for the beards. So normally beards take that foam and just for their own purposes. So if you're using any foam outside, just use additionally silver tape, or let's say black tape, to just additionally cover that that isolation. So that's one item to remember. Now we have the few tools. I will just use the one isolated electric, let's say, screwdriver, and that's about it. And maybe that element, and I will just open the compartment. I actually, make sure that I have that open already. So let's see what's inside. So we have the full view of the electrical compartment of the DC120 kilowatt Dry Cooler system. So I will quickly describe the components and then we'll go into the details. This is the main switch with the outside handle. So this is how we start and stop the system. Here we have the quick contractors. We have the motor protection switches. Here we have a small fuse, so hidden here. We have the DC24 DC power supply here. We have Carrel adaptive fan controller and terminal block, which you can see here above of the all elements. Now going into the details of the components. Here we have the main switch. Here you need to connect 3 phases, and one thing to notice, since that 3-phase connection, since that's 400 volts, you will need to use the you will require contractor electrician, which is certified in most of the countries. You will need someone who knows how to connect that properly. So just take that into the account, that we cannot support you fully on the every electrical connection. Here you just need proper person to do that. Here you'll see the description of the phases. So there will be these small markings, small numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc., etc. And actually those phase connection is mirrored. So just if you'll be connecting, just make sure that you are noticing what's those small numbers here, which are indicated on both sides. So here, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, you'll need to connect 2 cables, one ground and one neutral. So you have different connectors here, which you need to employ or utilize. Now, one thing to mention, there will be different configurations of that DC120 kilowatt Dry Cooler in the future. So the exact location of those components may be different. There may be also some different elements, like the different controllers. As you can see here, we are using Carrel controller, which is great actually, and it's industry standard. We were using also previously Danfoss MCX 6D fan controller, also great LCD screen, so pretty, let's say, allows to monitor more from the LCD screen, but actually it has exactly the same features as the Carrel. So don't be surprised if the, let's say, location of the elements will be sometimes different. But if you are hiring electrician, or if you have the if you are electrician, you have the skills, then connection of those would be pretty easy for you. Yeah, just one thing to notice that one. If you'll be starting the system, when you finish the connection of the 3-phase power, you will need to start those switches for sure, just to allow you to to operate. So just just do that. Now I will start the system because we connected that already to the 3-phase power, and I will start that and I will show you the how it basically works. So you'll notice that the Carrel controller is starting here. It should work just a little bit. Maybe it will not work actually, because it's pretty cold here in the shipping part of our operation. So it's not working yet. I will heat up the system in a moment. One thing what I will do right now is I will start the motor protection switches. So the fans will fans may operate. One final item which is required when you are starting the system is that here on the terminal block you will notice that there is one, let's say, cable which we attach additionally. We make it a little bit longer than we normally would do, so you can notice that one. That's the connection for the terminal block, which is used for the connection to the so-called SAP, or let's say fire protection system. In many countries and also in European Union, when we are based, there is regulation so that each dry cooler which is installed must have the ability to connect to the fire protection system. In that case, if there will be fire alarm, the system will shut down the dry cooler, will stop the dry cooler from operation to not, inflame, to not add additional airflow to the building, which is when the fire is located or where the fire started. So that must be equipped by law. We need to include that option, and we are shipping that without that element assembled, right? So that jumper here, which you can see, that must be installed by your side. It's always the first terminal block from the controller. You will see that, and that will be also described in the manual on our cryptocooling.eu website. So that's important. The system will show the error if there will be if that will be not connected. So that's one thing to mention. So the final item, if there will be, let's say, any issue with the controller, there will be some errors, the fans won't start or whatever, we advise to make one small adjustment. So use the screwdriver or electric screwdriver, which is protected as that one. We are connecting that cable properly, but those are traveling sometimes half of the world before before they will arrive to your location. So sometimes those connectors of that cabling are getting a little bit loose. So what we would advise, getting a small screwdriver, just push it a little bit so they are not sticking out. So just check that one. Sometimes it happens. It's properly connected, but still sometimes it may happen. Just not push it too much. Just check if there are no loose cables here, if that's fully attached to the terminal block. So that's just one item which we would suggest when you are starting the system. If you notice any issue, that very rarely happens, but just food for thought. So I'm starting the DCX 120 Dry Cooler, and I will show the modes of operation of the fan controller, or adaptive fan controller for that matter. So it just started. The adaptive fan controller is working, as you can see, some noise, and also you can see the number 1 here. So this controller allows you to separately control each of the fans. So right now there is not much heat going into the dry cooler system. It started just one fan for the system, and if you will heat up the sensor here, it will require more, so the other fans will adjust and will start additionally. So I will just take my hot coffee here, and I will put that sensor into the coffee just to see how the sensor behaves. And the second fan is starting, and third fan just started. So we have the 3 fans operating fully, and that rejects 120 or 140 kilowatts of the heat from the system. So let's measure with the sonometer how much noise it is. Let's say 10 meters away from the dry cooler system. So I will go, let's say 10 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's the sound of the dry cooler system 10 meters away. This is what you can expect when you'll be running your rack size operation, 120 kilowatts at hot summer days, obviously, if there will be, let's say, winter time, or let's say moderate season, there will be significantly less. But that's the maximum, 69 decibels. This is what you can expect under the highest load of the system. So now we lower the temperature of the sensor. So that simulates kind of, winter, autumn, moderate season, or let's say colder season noise from the system. So please observe how much it takes. It was 69 during the hot season. Now I will shut up and let's see what's happening. So it's 59 during the cold, or let's say moderate season, when just one fan is working, still rejects 120 kilowatt of the heat from the system. So this is the noise measured with sonometer 10 meters away from the dry cooler. So guys, that was the quick guide on the installation commissioning of the immersion rack system combined with the 120 kilowatt dry cooler, which is immersion optimized for the immersion temperatures. And there's one element which we cover in the very detail, which is the pumping system. So the very detailed configuration will be covered in the additional manual, but that's basically it. This is what you need to know to just install the rack frame, install the enclosures inside of the rack frame, position the dry cooler, connect the dry cooler to the manifold in the back of the rack system, and connect the main pump unit, and basically configure the dry cooler for your operation. So this is the quickest way, and actually the most convenient system you can get shipped to your door in relatively within, let's say, a few weeks with the air shipment. So that's the best what you can get. Actually, that's our standard bundle: the rack frame, free enclosures, dry cooler system, all combined on one unit. So we really recommend that. And well, it will take one day probably if you're doing that first time to just set up everything, but then you'll just run it for years. So that was it. I hope it was interesting, and stay with us. Subscribe to our social channels on Twitter, YouTube, and etc. And we'll basically show you how to configure your immersion system at the entry scale or on the large scale. Thank you.